Have you ever wondered if estrogen is dominating your body? Because it commonly correlates with weight gain, sleepless nights, sugar cravings, and low energy. Hi, I'm Jen, the Holistic Health Boss, your functional diagnostic health practitioner and expert, here to talk about how estrogen is a sneaky hormone often overlooked in typical blood tests, yet it commonly correlates with issues such as weight gain, sleepless nights, sugar cravings, low energy, depression, and insulin resistance in both men and women, and irregular periods or intense PMS symptoms just for the ladies. It has snuck up on me personally a few times over the years, and I frequently discover that it's at the core of my clients' weight and health woes that they're experiencing. So since I'm on to estrogen's tricks, I'm giving you the inside info to make it easier for you to figure out if estrogen is getting in the way of you being able to feel like your best self. Unexplained weight gain, struggle to lose weight despite your best efforts with diet and exercise, acne, low libido, restless sleep, hot flashes, and challenges with building muscle are just some of the other common characteristics that can be seen when estrogen is dominating your body. And estrogen doesn't discriminate. It's just as much of an issue these days with both men and women. I see it all the time in clients coming through my virtual practice door. My husband is actually a perfect case in point. For the majority of his adult life, he was able to manage his body weight with simple calories in versus calories out equation. And when the scale started to tip, he would simply cut back on his food intake and exercise more. That was until estrogen took control. The older that he got, the harder it became to manage his weight through diet and exercise. And one day it simply stopped working altogether. Not only was he not able to lose weight, but one day he stepped on the scale and it actually gained weight despite all of his efforts to work out harder and monitor his food intake. Now, for an engineer brain and scientific minded guy like my husband, this scenario was mind-boggling. He applied the equation of calories in versus calories out, and it did not produce the outcome that it was supposed to. Now, there are a million things I could say about the broken calorie in versus calories out equation, which you can read more of on my blog. But let's stay focused on estrogen here. There was obviously something going on behind the scenes preventing my husband from managing his weight. So we ran the right type of hormone test to collect some clues, and here is what we discovered. The first clue was a possible genetic predisposition. You see, a few years back, his mom had been diagnosed with the estrogen-driven type of breast cancer called ER2. Now, about 80% of all breast cancers are ER2 positive, meaning the cancer cells grow in response to estrogen. Clue number two was a dried urine test for comprehensive hormones known as the Dutch test revealed estrogen metabolites, estrone and estradiol, were very high outside of the functional range, and testosterone was within range. These values cannot really be seen on a blood test, so they were routinely being missed for him. This indicated a classic case of underlying estrogen dominance that was keeping him from being able to lose weight. Now, you might be wondering, well, what exactly is estrogen dominance? In men, it's usually determined when estrogen levels are relatively high in comparison to testosterone, meaning that testosterone levels could actually be normal or low, and estrogen is relatively high to whatever that testosterone value is. In women, it's commonly evaluated based on the ratio of estrogen to progesterone, but as with men, it can also be evaluated when comparing testosterone to estrogen levels as well. So in general, when estrogen levels are relatively high compared to other hormones, it's not necessarily good and it could be considered estrogen dominance. I too was duped by estrogen dominance back in the day. My weight slowly crept up by about 15 pounds over the course of 2 years, at which point I also broke out with acne for the first time in my life. I had painful and heavy periods, didn't sleep great, and couldn't keep my emotions under control. All because estrogen had basically taken over. And I'm also certain that my elevated estrogen levels were a big part of the tipping point that led down the road to an eventual Hashimoto's diagnosis for me. Now, the good news is that estrogen dominance doesn't happen overnight. It is preventable and reversible in almost any case. So that's why in the rest of this video, I want to dive into more detail for you about what exactly drives estrogen levels up and what actions you can take to actually get estrogen back under control and ultimately keep it there so that, like I said before, you can feel like your best self. Now, if estrogen gets out of control, it can actually lead to more health issues beyond stubborn weight, acne, and pain in the ass types of periods. Estrogen dominance also contributes to things like we just talked about, hormone-driven cancers such as the ER2 breast cancer. It can contribute to autoimmune conditions such as Hashimoto's, and it can even set you up for yeast and bacteria overgrowth such as Candida going on in the digestive system. So the question is, how can you keep estrogen within a level playing field? And what I have found is that to regulate and maintain a healthy estrogen balance in the body, there are two primary areas that you want to make sure that you're addressing. Area number one is sorting out estrogen sources. One of the biggest reasons why estrogen is on the rise is due to a category of toxins in our environment known as xenoestrogens. These toxins have the ability to mimic estrogen in the body or block hormone receptor sites, resulting in elevated estrogen levels. Common sources of estrogen-promoting toxins can be found in things like plastic food and water containers or other types of plastic containers that you might be using, lotion, shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, or other personal care products, and metal substances such as cadmium, lead, and mercury. So what you want to do is aim to swap out your plastic containers for things like glass or stainless steel, and use the Environmental Working Group's Skin Deep database to find non-toxic personal care products. Other estrogen elevating sources can also include things like non-organic foods that contain pesticides or added hormones. Tap water, yes, even though it's deemed safe, can be contaminated with pesticides and other toxins. And intestinal parasites, bacteria, and yeast that elevate toxic enzymes that trap estrogen in the body, or excess body fat that absorbs, stores, and synthesizes estrogen, and synthetic hormones found in hormone replacement therapies or birth control, as well as water damaged buildings that have mold growth and constant mental or emotional stress. So some of the actions that you can take right now to tackle these sources are things like eating organic, drinking and cooking with properly filtered water, addressing any water leaks and potential mold that might be going on in your house, and taking time to meditate or de-stress daily. Now, area number two is powering up your liver function, because the reality is we can't control 100% of our toxin exposures to these estrogen-driven toxins all the time, but our liver does play a major role in getting rid of excess estrogen that might be circulating in the body, and that's something that you can 100% get behind to support. So by supporting liver function, you actually get to address two essential health elements at once. One is eliminating toxins that you've been exposed to that might raise estrogen levels in the body, and also getting rid of excess circulating estrogen. So some simple daily activities that you can do to power up your liver function include avoiding inflammatory foods such as gluten, dairy, sugar, soy, and alcohol, eating some of the most naturally detoxifying foods such as beets, grapefruits, lemons, and dandelion, drinking adequate amount of water for your body weight, because water is how we move toxins out of the body, and aiming to be asleep during the body's detox window, which is 12 a.m. to 4 a.m., along with maybe considering taking a daily liver support supplement with nutrients such as milk thistle, and then incorporating things like a castor oil pack and other gentle detoxing tools into your routine. Now, if you want help with this, these are two areas that we primarily focus on in my 28-day cleanse challenge, and you can click on the link below to get more details and join right now. This challenge will help you boost your liver function naturally using foods and gentle cleansing methods so that you can ultimately lose those stubborn pounds, boost your energy, enhance hormones, and overall health all at the same time. By taking action to minimize estrogen sources and boost liver function, it's possible to get estrogen back under control so you can lose weight, increase energy, and resolve any other elevated estrogen-related issues that you might be experiencing. Today, I'm happy to report that with the proper diet and lifestyle changes, my husband has lost over 30 pounds. He easily maintains his weight while taking more days off from exercising than ever before, and he is proactively preventing a future battle with a genetic predisposition for that estrogen-driven cancer that his mom had. I have also fully restored balance to my estrogen levels after dealing with mold and a long history of birth control use in order to feel like my best self again. And I have helped hundreds of other people do the exact same type of thing with the concepts that are covered in my 28-day cleanse challenge. So if you suspect that maybe estrogen is dominating your body and want a simple step-by-step plan to get it back under control, then like I said, I'd love to invite you to join me and many others in the 28-day cleanse challenge by clicking on the links below. All right, I hope this video was incredibly helpful for you. I will see you in the next video.